Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to Omen Exitio, Plague. Picking up where we left off last time, we just raided the cultist camp. We got Fuego back and head back to the village. I don't know what's gonna happen, like I was saying last time. What are they gonna do? How are they gonna defend themselves? We're gonna have to like defend the village, maybe. I don't know, or maybe we're just gonna skedaddle out of there. Maybe we're gonna do like a Blazing Saddles thing, where we're like, hey, what if we built a replica village over there? And they were like, hey, there's two villages now. Oh, that's weird. Let's go raid that one. Haha, destroyed. Now we leave. Unless you get back to the village, Dawn's first light is turning to see a deep pink color. Oh, got achievement. What was that one? Okay, cool. Save Fuego. Nice. You're still holding Fuego in your arms, and he is boiling hot. He hasn't said a word since you left the cult's campsite. Aita looks at him now with growing anxiety. You feel a sharp pain in your thigh. Ooh. Okay. I thought he pricked himself with it. You put your hand into your pocket and find a small, sharp shards of glass. The syringe broke during your escape. It is now useless, so you throw it away. I was like, did he just infect himself with the plague? That would suck. But that does seem like that might help. I mean, how do they have many backups of them? Syringe? Maybe they only had the one. They're like, well, crap. Now we can't infect anybody more. All of a sudden, Fuego starts convulsing in your arms. He is having a seizure. You take him inside the hut, which by now you think of as yours, and lay him on the bed. You must try somehow to bring his temperature down and stabilize him, but it will take time, and you know that very soon the cult will already be on their way. Oh, crap. What do I do? We need to work about defending the village. Hey, Amana, you're the village. You're the chief, man. You know this village. You know. You work on the defenses as I try to help Fuego, right? I mean, we're pretty good on that. Oh no, actually, we're not as good as I thought. Yeah, of course we're gonna try to help the kid. But we need to defend the village. What achievement failed? What achievement did I fail? Oh. Okay. What did I say? I saved one though, right? After nearly an hour of trying, you finally succeed in bringing down Fuego's temperature. Now he's sleeping calmly, but you cannot be sure whether you have done enough. Amana is at the door of the hut, watching you with serious and passive eyes. Okay, good. Good. We can do both. Whew. Okay, so did we save? Our medicine skill is way higher now, and that was a success. Although last time we had done a successful thing with the medicine skill, and Scott still died. Was there's an achievement for saving Scott, and it sounds like there's an achievement for saving both of them. Seems confusing. We have no real way to defend ourselves from those men. We have to leave now. You agree with Aita. She tells you that there is a small island a few hours away by canoe where you could go hide. She says that she had proposed the idea to the other villagers several times, but nobody would listen. Perhaps the current situation in which you have inadvertently created might convince them. Try to get everybody. There are pirogues on the northern beach. There should be enough for everyone. Without knowing our route, it will take many days for them to find us. There's not much choice. Okay, and I think it's as high as it can get. Well, it is almost the size it can literally get. Excuse me. Listen, everyone. The Rateaux are on their way to attack the village. This time they're not coming to take a person, but to kill us all. I mean, that doesn't... yeah, that they're going to kill us all. Well, yeah, of course we're going to leave. The villagers gather around, listening with a mix of incredulity and fear. Wow, I can't pronounce that word. They do not have magical powers, but they do have weapons and terrible poisons. They're using the kidnapped men to test their poisons, and when they die, they throw their bodies on a fire. We found those who were still alive imprisoned underground. They will not be alive for much longer. Aita confirms what you're saying. You and Aita are getting ready to escape. You must be prepared to leave as quickly and easily as possible. You were able to organize an orderly evacuation. The villagers are following you silently through the dense jungle. You've gone far, though, before you see directly ahead a company of cultists armed with rifles. The rifles are already loaded, aimed straight at you. Oh, crap. I feel bad. I got the speechcraft skill check, so they died, but crap. What did I have an option to like try to defend the village? Maybe that would have been the thing. That would have been at least better than crap. It sucks. Ada quickly grabs your hand and pulls you into the cover of an area of denser vegetation. The people of the village are not so lucky. You see many of them fall to the ground under the barrage of rifle shots. You do not even have time to think. Some of the cultists are already running through the clouds of gunpowder smoke looking for you. Come on, we have to hide. Through the chaos of gunpowder smoke, screaming and people running, you see someone approach you slowly. Fuego. He seems to have completely recovered. Hey, we saved the kid at least. You snatch his hand, and all three of you set off running as fast as you can. Ada leads, pulling you through the vegetation, holding your hand even more tightly, and not looking back. You change direction several times. You do not slow for even a moment, despite nearly falling several times and having your skin ripped to shreds by thorns and sharp branches. Fuego, despite his recent sickness, fares much better than you. A cliff suddenly opens before you. Aita pulls you close to her and guides you through the narrow space between the cliff face and the trees until you come to a small cave and you crawl inside. You would never have suspected the existence of this large hole in the rock, and it should be almost impossible to find. Again, you feel a strong sense of guilt like a knot in your stomach. Images of the massacre flash through your mind, and you cannot help but think this is all your fault. Man, that sucks. I can't remember. Did I have an option to try to defend the village? Escape seemed like the smart idea, though. You try to wriggle into a new position within the confined space of the cave. You have been here for hours, and every part of your body is aching. The idea was that after a sufficiently long time, the cultists would have come to the conclusion that you were as dead as the rest of the village. It is a thought that only reinforces your sense of guilt. The sun is disappearing over the horizon of the ocean. Ada is holding Fuego in her arms. He obviously has less physical difficulty being in this confined space, but he had just recovered from the disease when he had to witness the deaths of all the people closest to him. Nonetheless, his face is composed, even a little proud. Night has fallen. It's been several hours since you last heard the shouts and other noises of the cultists searching the jungle. It is reasonable to suppose that they have by now abandoned their search, thinking that they have killed everyone, or that if anyone has escaped, that they are long gone. You leave the cave and move silently towards the beach, where the canoes are. Fortunately, you're still extremely cautious, because near the pirogues there are two armed guards, or two armed cultists. What's my observation? We should be good. We should be good. The men still seem to you to have a military aspect. You tell Aita to be ready. According to your observations of their movements, one of them will soon go off to patrol the other side of the beach, and that will be the moment to move. Two cultists have been immobile and silent for some time when one pulls something from his coat pocket. You cannot see what it is until his face is illuminated by a small flame which lights a cigarette. His partner starts walking away, probably to patrol the other side of the beach. This could be your only chance. What's our agility? Good, right? Ooh. 5. Crap. Do we do it or not? I feel like if I fail, Fuego's gonna get killed. I feel like if we have Fuego distract them, Fuego's gonna get killed anyway. And I feel like Aita's gonna get killed in one of the situations. So then again, we're probably okay. We can probably be okay to use Fuego because, I mean, if our agility was really low, I mean, how would we get out of this situation? So we might be okay. We might be okay if we use Fuego. But I'm still worried about him or Aita. Fuego starts running along the beach. When the man sees him, he pulls out his pistol with nonchalance, as if practicing in a shooting range. When he pulls on his cigarette, it lights up his smiling face. You creep up behind him and knock him unconscious with a large stone that you took from the edge of the beach. Guess the only downside is we don't get any experience from that. Seems they were determined to stop anyone from escaping. They have damaged the canoes to make them unusable. Upon further inspection, you find one pirogue which is less damaged than the others, and should still float. You won't be able to carry all 3 of you, though. You shake with anger and frustration. You were so close. Go, Fuego knows the way. You angrily refuse. You have been arguing about it for some time when you both suddenly realize that Fuego is gone. Aita stops herself, shouting with her hand, "No." Look for him in vain. That brave, stubborn boy made the difficult decision for you. You keep looking for him despite until the sky begins to brighten. Despite your suffering, you can't let this sacrifice be in vain. Dadgummit! Should have tried the agility thing after all. Aita, silently weeping, helps you push the pirogue into the water. With a sigh, you sit and pick up your paddle. With a heavy heart, you drift away from the island. Dadgummit! The sun reflects off every single wave. You are surrounded by the immensity of the ocean. You have no conception of how much time has passed, and you're lying dazed in the pirogue. Your skin is taut, cracked, and burnt by the unrelenting sun. Thirst has overtaken you, and you have no strength to paddle whatsoever. The boat is now at the mercy of the wind and currents. You do not understand how, but at some point Aita lost her bearings. It might have been the pain of losing Fuego, the panic of the escape, or perhaps it was just the current altered your course and she didn't notice. Whatever the reason, it means that instead of reaching the island you had intended, you are now drifting helplessly, surrounded by an infinite expanse of flat water. With great effort, you manage to lift your head. You look at Aita, who is lying in the other part of the canoe. Looks like she's breathing, but you cannot be certain. It may just be the slight rise and fall of the ocean. You let your head fall back down. It is too hard to keep raised for long. Suddenly, your fingers feel wet. At first, you suspect it's your mind playing tricks on you, but then it feels increasingly real. Is the pirogue sinking? You lift your hands to see that it's not water on your fingers, but blood. Oh. In front of you, Helen is splayed out on the bed. The sheets are soaked in the blood, but it keeps flowing from her mouth, body and eyes, like red tears. Why didn't you save me, Jake? Instinctively, you want to scream. Yeah, let's confront her. Take a few steps towards Helen. The blood is now flowing faster. The whole bed is red, but it's because of the blood. Is it because of the blood, or is it the color of the sheets? Jake, please don't leave me. I'm coming towards you. She opens her arms. She is beautiful again. The one in front of you now is your Helen. Ah, crap. Is this us accepting her death? Or is this us giving in to the... See, I'm not sure what the symbolism is. When us hugging her be like, it's okay. I loved you. But, I gotta move on. Or is it like, okay, you're real, and I'm going to be living in a fantasy where you're possibly alive and not giving up on you. So which one is it? Let's embrace her. Why not? You embrace your wife. You can feel her warmth and her scent. It really is her. You hold her tightly in your arms. What is that? It sounds like fire. A sound starting low begins to rise up. You catch movements out of the corner of your eyes, as if something is crawling inside the walls of your bedroom. The movement seems to grow, and now the walls are pulsating slowly, as if something living is pushing on them from behind. You try to warn Helen to extricate yourself from her embrace so that you can escape this latest threat, but her arms keep an iron grip on you, like the jaws of a trap. She whispers in your ear, "Shh, my love, do not be afraid. There was this being made of millions of parts which crawled inside me, and you just let it happen. They must let this being crawl inside you too." Nope. I want nothing entering my body without permission. The walls begin to crack, and the crack begins to spread and widen. Through the cracks push terrible black shapes like tendrils searching to suffocate the air itself. As they slowly grow out of the walls, they begin to look like roots or tentacles. Then you become aware that they are not moving, growing randomly. They are reaching towards you. And that does look pretty creepy. A sharp pain tears you from your nightmare. Perhaps you had some sort of seizure in your dream because now your whole body is racked with painful cramps. You feel a tremendous heat, but it is not the sun. It is inside your body. It is fever and it's rising. Oh, crap. You try to sit up and call to Aida, but the canoe is rocking. With great difficulty, you clutch the edge of the boat and haul yourself up. Sea is calm, but you see Aida leaning over the sea. She has sunstroke and has probably gone mad in the heat. You try to shout to stop her, but you are too late and you watch her fall overboard. Well, we just can't have any freaking luck here, can we? With all the effort you can possibly muster, you try to reach out to her, but you are physically incapable of moving. She floats, almost motionless, at the surface of the water. She does not even have the energy to pull her head out of the water. You make another desperate attempt to grab her foot, but you lose consciousness and fall back into the boat. The last image you see is Aida's body drifting away. Do this! Do a Terminator impression! Do a Terminator impression! You have a chance to do it. You may as well. Should have been like, hasta la vista, baby. You come to and pass out again several times. When you find yourself again conscious, you try to open your eyes and to move, but you're unable. How are we not going to die here? How are we not dead? This whole game, I don't understand how we're not dead. When you're finally able to open your eyes, it is not. It's much cooler, and the drop in temperature relieves your pain. Somewhat, your physical pain at least. You think sorrowfully of Aida, of Fuego, and all the villagers. All the lives you were unable to save, like Helen's too. You cough, and the sudden movement gives you searing pain in your chest, your shoulder, and your arms. Perhaps your time has come. You close your eyes, you're ready. When you open your eyes again, you see little tongues of mist reaching over the sides of the pirogue. Then you black out again. A loud and violent noise brings you back to consciousness. Kind of achievement. What was that? Oh, I don't see a new one here. It might have been that might have been the end of chapter 3. A loud and violent noise brings you back to consciousness. It takes you some time to recognize what it is. The foghorn of a ship. Your little pirogue is suddenly hit by large waves despite the lack of wind. There's another foghorn blast just before you lose consciousness yet again. Something big is coming. Is it the cult? You're lying staring at the ceiling, which seems to be pulsating and rocking, slowly and steadily. Suddenly you're convinced that it is about to break and come crashing down on you, so you flinch involuntarily. There's no way of knowing whether this latest hallucination is the result of your long day spent drifting, parched on the open seas, or some other mysterious cause. The bed in which you find yourself is soft and comfortable, but you cannot really enjoy it. In fact, you feel a certain amount of revulsion. It is too soft, too calm. You are half expecting fearsome, dark, and slimy appendages to begin emerging from the sheets to suffocate you at any moment. After having spent several weeks at sea, at the mercy of the wind, tide, and currents, you're picked up by a ship and taken to the United States of America. All of your memories, the island, the cult, Aida, are tangled up together like a confused vortex in your mind. They're all strange, distant images, but nevertheless, you are finding it increasingly difficult to distinguish them from your present reality. Several weeks at sea. How did he not die of thirst? A polite rap at the door tells you that food has been prepared for dinner. You open your eyes. When it says a polite rap, is that like a rap song, saying like, "Hey, dinner time! It's dinner time." I'm not going to come up with a rap because I'm terrible at music stuff and most other things. You have been in this hotel for the past 2 days when the captain made it known that the sunburnt drifter was, in fact, a soldier from London. The University of New York offered to help out until you could return to England, so they gave you a bed, food, and a small sum of money, sufficient for essentials. Considering whether or not to accept the invitation to dinner, you see a note being slipped under the door. A note for you. Okay. Crap, it's gonna be our friend, isn't it? You jump up out of bed and have only taken a step or two towards the door when a rush of blood to your head makes you see stars. The walls of the room are spinning to infinity. All around you see faces and eyes in dark fractal arrangements. They're everywhere, on the walls, on the floor, and even on your skin. The head rush subsides. The walls of the room appear to have returned to normal levels of solidity. You rub your temples, take a few deep breaths, and finally go over to pick up the note. Still at the threshold of the door, you open the envelope and begin reading. Okay, doesn't seem like it's our friend from before. Dear Dr. Huntington, my name is Jean-Baptiste Martin, biologist and surgeon. I heard about you from various and fragmentary reports here at the university. I am as curious as everyone to hear about the story of your shipwreck and salvation, perhaps even more so about the rumor that you're a doctor. I think I heard while questioning one of the men on the ship, excuse me, while questioning one of the men on the ship which brought you here to New York, the name of Martinus William Bajerink, and I would like to invite you to my home laboratory so that we might discuss various matters which will no doubt be to our mutual interest. Yours sincerely, Jean-Baptiste Martin. Okay. Also in the envelope is a business card with an address. On the back, in beautiful calligraphy, is the time at which you are expected tomorrow. How did this guy know about Bajerink? If we had, or at least his connection to me, if he was never able to make that public, The invitation has astounded you. Over the past few days in New York, you have been feeling like a sort of performing monkey. At dinner, for example, you have felt inquisitive glances on you from all sides. For once not threatening, but impertinent nonetheless. This, however, is the first interest you have received from a colleague. On one hand, you consider it perfectly normal that your sudden and mysterious recovery from the sea should create such curiosity, but on the other, you cannot help but be suspicious of this letter. Let's look for more information about him. Having decided to find out more More about your host before accepting the invitation. You make inquiries at the hotel reception, who direct you to a moderately sized yet well-selected library. You start looking haphazardly, and it is not long before you find information about Martin. He is a French scholar who moved some years ago to New York to take a seat at the university there. For a young man, he seems to have published quite a number of interesting papers, and the general consensus is that he is a very able and studious fellow, of whom great things are expected. Apparently, due to his great curiosity and enthusiasm, he is poised to become an important name in academia, not only in his adopted New York, but worldwide. Reading these details about his life make you feel much better about the invitation. It may prove to be a diverting encounter after all. Yeah, let's accept them. It seems pointless sitting around worrying about the invitation. The best way to find out Martin's intentions is just to meet him face to face. You ask the hotel receptionist to deliver your reply to Martin, then return to your room. You are aware that your university benefactors are expecting you to reestablish yourself. It's not hard to suppose that this meeting with Martin could be the first of many. You know you should be considering your moves very carefully. Yeah, you still got the cult after you. After only a few hours, you hear back from Martin. A carriage will be sent to pick you up at the hotel at lunchtime tomorrow. Okay. The sun set several hours ago. You are sitting silently at your desk in your hotel room. You glance over at the bed as if it were a ferocious animal crouching, ready to attack. Here! Sleeping and dreaming have not exactly been enjoyable recently. Nonetheless, you also know that you cannot very well go to tomorrow's meeting with Martin in this frayed state, and should try to get at least a few hours' rest. Having resolved as much, you are going over to your bed when you hear a noise coming from the direction of the door. Then you detect an even fainter rustle. And let's be cautious. You creep closer to the door, tiptoeing and keeping your eyes strained to pick up any further noises. You hear nothing even when you press your ear right up against the wood. You do, however, notice another message at your feet. You bend to pick it up. Dear Jake, I'm sure you're now beginning to feel safe, far from the insanity which has been surrounding you these past few years. Excuse me. However, a good friend must also point out complacency where he sees it. Crap. Be very careful, Jake. The cult is active, very active indeed. You should know by now just how far it exceeds and how it maintains a presence in the most unexpected of places. Martin is just another line of silk in the sand being spun around you. Do not let yourself become the fly, a friend. Great, so Martin is in the cult, sounds like. You said, considering all this new message conveys, your paranoia and suspicion have been confirmed as warranted yet again. You are right to distrust Martin's invitation. That is, if your mysterious informant can actually be trusted. What if it is, in fact, he who has nefarious intentions? Crap. Well, the good thing is, well, both of these are being fairly cautious. Feel like we should definitely do one of these. Our fighting skill is still really low. So that would be bad if there was a fight. Okay, let's arrange it in a public place. You're perplexed by Martin's interest in you. It doesn't have the ring of simple academic curiosity. You have decided tomorrow you will send him another message apologizing and declining his invitation to lunch. To make up for it, you will propose meeting up in the afternoon at the hotel bar. This way you'll be able to observe him in a public place, and he won't be able to pull any nasty surprises if there is any basis to your suspicions or the informant's warning. Yeah, that does seem like the like the middle ground. So yeah, I guess we'll find out next episode how that goes. That's gonna be the end of this one. I do sincerely hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm enjoying this game. I'm curious to see how it ends. I mean, this has been a really crazy game. So I'm really curious. I feel like we're getting pretty close. I think that was probably the achievement we got before we got picked up by the boat. I think that was the end of chapter 3. That's what I'm going to assume anyway. So yeah, I do hope you guys are enjoying. If you did, leave a like. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next episode. See you then, folks.